Kayla Rhodes. I am the librarian at Donovan Middle School, and I am here to educate, captivate, and connect you to school libraries and their librarians. So, I want to quote from President Lyndon Johnson's remarks on signing the Elementary and Secondary Education Act in April of 1965. He says, "Education is the only valid passport from poverty. We bridge the gap between helplessness and hope for more than 5 million educationally deprived children. We put into the hands of our youth more than 300 million new books and into many of our schools for their first libraries." So, let me get into the benefits of school libraries. Library instruction builds students' confidence with the research process. Library instruction contributes to retention and persistence, particularly for students in first-year experiences with courses and programs. Students who receive library instruction as part of their courses achieve higher grades and demonstrates better information literacy competencies than students who do not receive course-related library instruction. A library's research and study space fosters social and academic community among students. And lastly, library instructional games, which we can provide, engage students, enhance information literacy skills, and increase positive attitudes toward the library and its staff. So, we have to do the librarians now, right? Because we just talked about librarians and their benefits. So, what do we add to it? School librarians and teachers make a strong instructional team, combining their knowledge of pedagogy, resources, and technology to meet the specific needs of each student. Teachers were 3 times more likely to rate their literacy teaching as excellent when they collaborated with librarians. And also, a quote from the ALA website: "School libraries provide equitable, physical, and intellectual, warm, stimulating, and safe environments." So, just so you know, the research shows the highest achieving students attend schools with well-staffed and well-funded library media centers, which is so important. Students make 1.5 billion visits to school library media centers during the school year, or 5.5 times as many visits to national parks. Again, students make 1.5 billion visits to school library media centers during the school year. This is 140 million more than attendances made to movie theaters in 2008. And again, I got that source from the ALA website. So, the effectiveness of having a librarian and supported staff. We don't want to be ineffective. We want to be highly effective. So, when a staff or a school district is ineffective, there's no support staff assigned to the library and or volunteers replace librarian role. To be progressing towards effective, one support staff assigned to the library part-time to assist users with non-instructional needs. Volunteers provide assistance to the para-librarian. To be effective, so this is where we need to be in higher, but we need the resources. One full-time support staff assigned to the library to assist users with non-instructional need. Volunteers provide assistance to the para-librarian. And to be highly effective is where I want to be. One or more full-time support staff assigned to the library that assist users with non-instructional needs. So the next 2 slides that I'm going to show you is from the Pennsylvania Public Schools. They did a study between reading and writing scores when the school districts had a full staff, had a librarian and assistants. So, 35 hours or more per week. This is what the blue represents for a librarian in a school district. The green represents if the librarian's there less than 35 weeks. As you can see, the test scores in reading are much higher when you have a supported staff in the library. The writing scores are even higher when you have a well-equipped staff in a public school district. The red is for when there's a librarian there 35 hours or more. The blue represents 35 hours or less. As you can see, the red is much more than the blue, so it is very beneficial for students to have librarians and a well-equipped staff. So, go back to the studies. Staffing remains the key for the success of our students. With a full-time librarian, students are more likely to score advanced and less likely to score below basic on reading and writing tests. Consistently, reading scores are better for elementary, middle, and high school students who have a full-time librarian. On average, almost 9% more students score advanced in reading where students have a full-time certified librarian with support staff, rather than if they did not have one there. So further, almost 8% more students score advanced in reading where students have a full-time certified librarian and staff. So, on the average, the percent of students scoring advanced in writing is 2.5 times higher for schools with a full-time certified librarian than the ones that do not hold a librarian in the school district. So, out of all the factors that were examined in this study, the one with the most impact on students is the presence of a full-time certified librarian in a school library. And I got this from the School Library Journal. So, testimonials. Jessie B. Ramey is a parent of 2 students in the Pennsylvania Public School District. This is what she said. Without a full-time librarian in each of our schools, we are still shortchanging our kids. As this most recent study clearly found, librarians are even more significant for our struggling students. Yet these are often the very kids forced to go without books, staff, or space. So, as I say goodbye and wrap this up, students are more likely to succeed when they have library programs that are well-staffed, well-funded, technologically well-equipped, well-stocked, and more accessible. And the neediest learners may benefit the most from trained librarians and quality library programs. So, libraries and librarians are a crucial investment to our school district. And for the success of our student achievement, we are necessary.